Morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've said several times on this platform that Zimbabwe is a failed state. That it is. After 45 years of independence, we have failed to hold free, fair, and credible elections. And so the nation has found itself stuck with this corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical ZANU-PF dictatorship. And after 45 years, you think the nation has come to the conclusion that they must get rid of the dictatorship. Alas, that is not so. Zimbabwe is stuck in this situation because, for one reason or another, the nation is in denial that the root cause of the problem is the dictatorship. Which brings me to this dead horse theory. This is just a metaphor to illustrate a problem with some people who would not accept the obvious reality that the horse is dead. And so they'll come up with all manner of solutions to the fact that the horse is not making any progress. Things like, oh, let's get him a new saddle. Or let's change his diet. Or let's change the person who looks after him, the groomer, etc., etc. And one of Zimbabwe's own favorite, let's change the rider. In 2017, after 37 years of Mugabe dictatorial rule, the nation was desperate for change. And the military coup offered the opportunity for change. But instead of the people focusing on the need to change, to end the system itself, the dictatorship, they settled for what the army offered them, a chance to change the rider. The people themselves were so focused on Mugabe must go, they grabbed that with both hands. Truth is, of course, the economy did not improve because the problem was still there. Zimbabwe was still a pariah state ruled by corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical thugs who rigged elections to stay in power. And so it doesn't come as a surprise that 8 years down the line, the people finally realize that the rider they got in 2017 has not improved the situation. And so, guess what? They are thinking of changing, swapping Mnangagwa for Chiwenga. Of course, it's idiotic. Chiwenga is just another seasoned ZANU-PF thug. And the people who are imposing Chiwenga are the same people who imposed Mnangagwa in 2017. And before him, imposed Mugabe. So nothing has changed here. Nothing is changing. In 2017, like I said, the people were so focused on Mugabe must go. They took their eyes off the real problem, which was ending the dictatorship. This time, things have not changed. The people are so focused on stopping Mnangagwa, amending the constitution to extend his stay in power beyond the two-term limits, which means he must leave in 2028. But they're now so focused on that, they will accept what the so-called Geza revolution is offering them. A chance to stop Mnangagwa amending the constitution. And the price for it is that you will accept Chiwenga as the new dictator. Anyone could believe that is a solution. Beggars believe. Zimbabwe's problem started way back in 1980 when the so-called freedom fighters changed or hijacked the revolution. Instead of fighting for freedom, justice, peace, and human dignity for all Zimbabweans, they changed, and now they were fighting for ZANU-PF to rule. The 1980 elections, instead of the elections being free, fair, and credible, one man, one vote, Mugabe and his colleagues deployed freedom fighters in the field. And they told the voters that if ZANU-PF does not win the election, the Bush war would continue. The people voted to end the Bush war, not knowing that doing so meant losing their right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country forever. Because 3 years after winning the 1980 elections, Mugabe launched the Kukurahundi massacre, whose primary purpose was to force PF ZAPU to give up its independence and join the ZANU-PF, which they finally did in 1987. And this cleared the way for Mugabe to impose the de facto one-party state that has ruled the country to this day. The people have never had free, fair, and credible elections in Zimbabwe. We have got war veterans who have been brainwashed into believing that the only people fit to rule Zimbabwe are ZANU-PF leaders. Anyone else not fit. And so we have had strings of army generals, for instance, making it abundantly clear that they will not support anyone else to rule the country other than ZANU-PF, which is, of course, nonsense. And the likes of Blessed Gesa, as much as you would want the nation to believe that he is against, he wants Mnangagwa to go because Mnangagwa is corrupt and incompetent, which he is. There's no denying that. The reality on the ground proves that. But the bottom line is Keza and company, what they are saying is it is their turn to rule. In other words, the fact that the economy is failing and people are suffering is a side issue. They are attaching it because it is convenient to do so. But the number one issue is they believe it is their turn to rule. Let me repeat. Because Geza and company are not offering to end the dictatorship. What they're offering is to replace the dictator, to replace the rider of the dead horse. Or anyone can even for 1 minute believe that is the solution to the country's problem. Beggars belief. And yet many do believe it. That is the tragedy of Zimbabwe. Think about it. Thank you and good night.